Hello everyone, welcome to an overview of Microsoft Loop, and this here is just a public preview of the software where we get a chance to have a hands-on experience on this particular platform before they are able to roll it out to the general public. So I'm really excited to see what this has for us. We saw a little bit of a video on how this works, and we're going to create a couple of things here. Create a workspace and also look for components and how to create specific types of pages to enhance your experience not only individually but as a team. And so looking at the preview main page here, we have the following features to be able to dive into. And here first is that we have our specific tab that takes you into a workspace, and this here is already created. Now in here at the top left we have either recent activities or you have favorite. Right now we don't have favorite, but if we want to create a favorite, all we do is click on more, and then we can go down to either open this workspace or click on favorites for these to now be under the category of your favorite, which is now currently there. Or going to the next section, we have rename and style. That is pretty good by manipulating the view of this particular tab. Or we can add members, which we're going to dive into, and you can delete if we want. Now let's see how this here, in terms of my own experience of the unfavorite here versus favorite, is not really clear enough when it comes to this particular preview, because what I see right now is that there is no way I can see which ones are my favorite here or not. So that means that if there is a way they can make a little star yellow, such as when I'm looking through at these recent activities, I know that the star yellow represents my favorites versus the ones that are unfavorite are the ones that are not yellowed stars. Now next is creating a new workspace. What we have to do is go to the top right section and you see the plus sign which says add new workspace. Once you click on that, we can now create whatever we want in terms of an overview of what the workspace is going to be about. In this case here, let's say I want to create a physics project. What I can do is just click on teaching physics projects, and that is something that is going to be awesome. You can click on the plus sign and you can have different emojis that represents that particular theme, and when you click on people you can have these, or you can have a couple of interesting building structures. Maybe that might be a little bit more of that particular vibe. Other things like well as update cover involves the following, where we have different things here that maybe might either represent physics or not. So what we just best do is click on something that looks a little bit more cool, and let's just click on that because that is the only thing I can think of right now. And click on select, and yeah, voila, there we go. This is more art related, but it's fine. And once you click on create, and this is how it looks like in terms of the main page of this workspace specifically for teaching physics. A couple of interesting things are popping up, like for example, who is online. In this case, I'm currently online, and other things as well, like at this left side we have pages that we can create. And to create pages, all we do is click on this and we create a new page, or we can create a new link. To create a new page, once we click on that, we have a new page, and this page is kind of similar to opening a chapter, and I can think of it as a chapter here. My first chapter here will be curriculum overview of this particular project, and let's say the next one here we can just type resources, and maybe relevant resources that people want to put down here, we can go for it. Now going to your curriculum overview, here are a couple of things that might be of great nice way to introduce people into this workspace. Like for example, you can add icons, or you can add a cover, whichever cover that you think might be relevant, to go for it. There is no sidebar that says that hey, let's search for any interesting particular images that may be of great relevance here for this particular topic. So if this software is able to have that search bar in here for you to have more diverse ways or access instead of you searching over to see which one, that would be fantastic. And maybe, you know, with the use of the co-pilot, that might help as well in terms of beautifying this particular system here. Now, in terms of observations of what I see here, as you switch from one particular page to the next, you see your particular icon move to the next one that you're currently at, and followed by in here, when you go into recent, you can see the recent projects that you're currently working on or other people working on. Other things that, for example, in terms of ideas, and in here you're trying to capture your ideas and put them together with others. Or you can do is either press the plus sign by adding idea pages, or you click on new page right here, and this here is how it looks like, where you're going to be having something quite new in terms of, let's say for example, you're thinking of topics that you want to be addressed on physics, and let's say specifically we're looking at physics 12, and you hit enter. There we have it. In here, when it comes to just start typing, you can go to insert, and what we have are a couple of interesting ways of formatting your page here, and this applies to other pages in this loop space. And all these are really fantastic, either in terms of communication, just putting at someone, or emoji, pickers, dates, labels, and many diverse ones, especially images here. And the downside for the images here is that it doesn't connect really well to the web server. Rather, you have to get on your own space and put in images that you've already created and incorporate it right here. So I hope that in the future they'll be able to have other images from servers, like for example Bing. That'll be something that maybe might be of great addition to this. And also to find, if you want to find any group of people, here are names of people that maybe that are on your contact list that you want to add to this particular conversation to get ideas. So once we have this here, next is that moving up here we have the bell, where you have people's activities, overtime, notifications, new updates that are going to be coming on from your team and other people in your team as to what they're currently working on or what they've added to the space, and many stuff like that. Another one here is in terms of the search. You can search for specific pages. Like for example, if you want to go back to your curriculum overview, you click on that and that takes you right back. Other things here, like for example, close sidebar, switches everything to a full mode, instead of maybe if you're feeling a little bit distracted by the notifications and all that stuff, this here will be a nice way to just get it out of the way. Or what they can do as an addition is that if there's any new notification, you don't have to have the bell to be rung. You can just have like a number popping up here that just says that, oh, 1 2 3 4, whatever is going on, you go for it over there. So that is really fantastic to have that in here as a setup. Now let's say you don't want to create a project from scratch. What you can do is at the bottom you have a couple of templates, and explore other templates here. Like for example, in here, if you want to click on project planning, you can just use the template, or you can, as shown in this preview, which is really amazing to see. So in here, what we have is roles and assigned. You have a background context, you have opportunity statements, you have assignments, you have goals, you have milestones, you have team, tap, check. It's amazing stuff right here. In this particular part, this kind of looks familiar to what Google has when you're in your Google Doc and you're trying to create tabs that shows you whether someone is currently working on a project, like for example status here as shown right here. Other things like feeling, how do you feel. This is really amazing stuff right here in terms of just that shared diversity of the setup here. So really rich stuff that we got right here. Let's say we go to resources now, for example, and we want to explore other templates. Let's see other templates that we have right here. We have team decision, we have project planning, we have meeting notes, we have bad idea brainstorm, project weeks, action heroes, stand-up meetings, issue trackers, problem framing, and many stuff like that. You can click on others and you can see how other templates are actually set up, and whichever one feels comfortable for you, definitely you go for it. And this is kind of a nice idea to keep at the back of your mind, and how this can also be enhanced, hopefully with the help of the co-pilot, in this case ChatGPT 4 and other fun stuff, to get your specific workspace in a much more organized and professional way, rather than creating everything from scratch. So really awesome to have this at the back of your locker when it comes to templates and how they look like. So moving on to the right side, we have a couple of ways you can share this. I will go with loop components, where you embed and provide access to this page in supported Microsoft 360 apps. So once you click on these, you're going to have a link that is going to be generated, and anyone with this link can edit when you share it with any other person within the specific apps. So really fantastic to think about that. Other things are, for example, workspace access. You can add more people here and you invite them and you're good to go. Like for example, if I want to add myself but from my school board's email and incorporate in here, let's see whether it recognizes my school email. And once you click on that, it says that if I click on invite, it says invitation could not be sent to this person. So this might be a little bit of a drawback for this particular loop, because it needs to be able to be more accessible to different people using different email interface. So I'm really looking forward to how they make those adjustments for future versions of this particular workspace, so that it can be more accessible to a broader audience. And finally, in terms of the home page, what we have on the right side is we have different ways by which you can set this up, either in a grid format, which should be highlighted as a grid view, or on a list format, and we can see details as to the number, the active now, in terms of maybe people that are currently in the space, and maybe which one is favorites. Right now we don't see anyone that is favorite, except to click on favorite, and there we have it. It is right over there. So I'm going to be interested to see how this is going to be updated in the future. And also, I know we didn't dive into components in details, but we're going to look at components on a separate video. All the same, hope you found this really informative. Hit a comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts about this. By that way, we can talk to you all soon. Stay smart as always, and believe in yourselves.